On Wall Street, there's a statistic few know. 88% of Americans will never achieve financial independence. While you're watching this video, 3,500 people are signing loan contracts that will enslave them for the next 30 years. Why does this happen? Because there's a ruthless system designed to keep you exactly where you are. Consider this. The American educational system spends 13 years teaching algebra and literature, but 0 hours on financial education. It's no coincidence. Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha, revealed, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you'll work until you die. What I'm about to reveal in the next few minutes is the precise method that transformed ordinary people into millionaires in just 6 months. I'm not talking about schemes or empty promises. I'm talking about a strategic formula that anyone, regardless of their current situation, can implement. This knowledge is considered so powerful that several financial institutions preferred you never discovered it. Are you ready to uncover what financial elites have been hiding for decades? The biggest fraud against Americans isn't a complex Wall Street scheme. It's much more subtle. It's the collective belief that wealth is unattainable for ordinary people. Let's examine the current American financial reality. 78% of American workers live paycheck to paycheck. The average American carries $90,460 in personal debt. Only 39% of Americans could cover a $1,000 emergency. Why are these statistics so alarming? Because they reveal the fragility of the modern American dream. The 3 devastating financial myths. The first obstacle we need to confront is purely psychological. We've been conditioned since childhood to believe in 3 financial myths that sabotage our prosperity. Myth number 1, wealth is morally questionable. Popular culture consistently portrays rich people as villains. From Gordon Gekko in Wall Street to Mr. Burns in The Simpsons, the subliminal message is clear. Money corrupts. This conditioning is so deep that many of us develop what psychologists call subconscious wealth aversion, a phenomenon where we unconsciously sabotage our own financial success to avoid becoming a bad person. Warren Buffett challenges this mentality. Money simply amplifies the character that already exists. The problem was never the money, but how we decide to use it. Myth number 2, you need luck or privilege to prosper. A Harvard University study analyzed 10,000 American millionaires and discovered that 88% of them are self-made. They built their wealth from scratch without significant inheritance. Mark Cuban sold trash before becoming a billionaire. Oprah Winfrey grew up in rural Mississippi poverty. What do they share? Refusing to accept limitations imposed by circumstances. Myth number 3, you need to understand complex finances to invest. This is perhaps the most pernicious myth because it discourages ordinary people from starting. The truth? The fundamental principles of wealth generation are surprisingly simple. Warren Buffett states, you don't need to be a rocket scientist. Investing isn't a game where the guy with a 160 IQ beats the guy with a 130 IQ. The most devastating financial trap of modern America, conspicuous consumption. The average American spends $18,000 per year on non-essential items. This represents approximately $1.5 million during an adult lifetime, an amount that, if invested carefully, would produce complete financial independence. Why do we fall into this trap? Because we confuse status with wealth. The Millionaire Next Door research revealed that most American millionaires never bought a watch that cost more than $399, drive cars more than 3 years old, live in modestly valued homes in middle-class neighborhoods. Meanwhile, those who appear wealthy with luxury cars and mansions often have negative net worth. This is the first paradigm shift we need to make. Completely separate status from wealth. They are not only not the same thing, they are often diametrically opposed. This understanding leads us to Buffett's first transformative principle. The first rule of investing is not to lose money. The second rule is to never forget the first rule. This means that before thinking about making money, we need to stop accumulating expenses that don't generate returns. There's a simple yet revolutionary tool that Warren Buffett recommends: the Personal Prosperity Index, a metric that measures how much of your income is working for you versus simply flowing through you. What we discover when calculating this index is often shocking. The person earning $50,000 per year, but strategically investing 20%, is building more wealth than the executive earning $250,000, but consuming everything. This is the first transformation we need to make, moving from the consumption paradigm to the wealth paradigm. As Warren Buffett synthesized, don't save what is left after spending, spend what is left after saving. What fundamentally differentiates the 12% of Americans who achieve financial independence? The fundamental difference lies in a single formula: the accelerated prosperity equation. This equation, extracted from Warren Buffett's principles, and refined through decades of analyzing the truly prosperous, reveals the secret code of wealth generation. R equals G minus D times 1 plus C times T, where R represents accumulated wealth, G represents total gains, D represents expenses, C represents multiplication capacity, T represents time. This formula reveals a fundamental truth. Wealth isn't about how much you earn, but the gap between what you earn and what you spend, exponentially multiplied through strategic investments over time. The 6-month method. Fundamental financial reconstruction. Phase 1. Fundamental financial reconstruction, stages 1 to 2. The 6-month method begins with a comprehensive assessment and restructuring of your current financial position. Unlike conventional approaches, this system not only examines your numbers, but reconstructs your financial psychology from the foundation. During the first 60 days, you will execute 3 crucial strategies. First, conduct a rigorous financial audit. The average American underestimates their expenses by 17 to 23% when questioned. This cognitive discrepancy creates a false perception of your financial reality. Implement an automatic tracking system through apps like Mint or Personal Capital, connecting all your accounts. Dedicate 30 minutes daily to categorizing unidentified expenses and identifying waste patterns. Second, establish your prosperity number. This personalized project considers not just your current income, but your earning potential and long-term goals. Multiply your desired annual income by 25 to determine your target net worth. For someone aspiring to a passive income of $100,000 annually, the prosperity number would be $2.5 million. This number transcends simple retirement goals. It represents total freedom of choice. Finally, execute the immediate leverage protocol. Contrary to conventional wisdom about saving first, immediately identify 3 additional income sources that can be innovative within 30 days. Consider specialized consulting in your area of expertise, $500 to $2,000 per month. Digital micro enterprises with minimal investment, $300 to $1,500 per month. Arbitrage of services using gig economy platforms, $200 to $1,000 per month. The goal is not just to incrementally increase your income, but to create multiple streams that can eventually surpass your primary work. Phase 2, strategic acceleration and capital allocation, stages 3 to 4. In this phase, we transform your ability to generate wealth and implement profitability strategies few know about. First, we implement the tripartite allocation system. Divide your financial investments into 3 strategic categories: security assets, 30%, emergency funds, government bonds, low volatility ETFs, growth assets, 50%, broad market ETFs, low-cost index funds, growing dividend stocks, catalyst assets, 20%, high potential investments, promising startups, selected cryptocurrencies. This allocation differs significantly from the conventional 60-40 model. Studies show that adding the catalyst assets category increases total return potential by 18 to 24% over a 5-year period without disproportionately increasing risk. Next, implement the accelerated financial decision framework. This decision-making system eliminates emotional parasites and cognitive lives that prevent wealth creation. Every financial decision must pass through 4 filters. Real net return considers inflation, taxes, and hidden costs. Opportunity cost evaluates what you're losing by making this investment strategic alignment. Checks if the decision advances your 6-month plan. Conviction test determines if you would invest 10 times more if you had the resources. Finally, adopt the SMART leverage protocol. Contrary to conventional advice about avoiding debt, learn to distinguish between parasitic debt, credit cards, consumer loans, and specialized debt, strategic real estate financing, investment loans. Data shows that 83% of American millionaires use strategic leverage to accelerate wealth creation. Financial prosperity manuscript. Let's analyze each component of this revolutionary equation. Component 1, the prosperity gap, G minus DA Federal Reserve study, revealed something surprising. People earning $50,000 annually, but maintaining a 20% gap, accumulate more wealth than professionals earning $200,000 with only a 5% gap. Why does this happen? Because what matters is not your gross income, but your net surplus. This is the first secret of the truly prosperous. Tom Corley, after studying the habits of 233 American millionaires, discovered that 94% live significantly below their means, 85% meticulously keep records of their expenses, 97% adhere to specific budgets for discretionary categories. The practical method to create your prosperity gap is the modified 50-30-20 system of Buffett. 50% for essential needs, housing, food, basic transportation, 30% for strategic investments, not discretionary spending, 20% for quality of life and conscious pleasures. Notice the pattern. The truly prosperous completely reverse the priority. While the average American invests what is left after spending, the prosperous spend what is left after investing. Component 2, the capital multiplier 1 plus C. This is the element that transforms savers into investors and investors into capitalists. Warren Buffett states, "If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die." This is the principle of the capital multiplier. There are 5 distinct levels of capital multiplication, each with exponentially greater potential. Level 1, simple savings, multiplier 1.01 to 1.05, putting money into traditional savings accounts. With average interest rates of 0.06% and inflation at 2 to 3%, you are effectively losing purchasing power. Level 2, low-risk investments, multiplier 1.05 to 1.08. Government bonds, CDs, and high-yield accounts. Secure but with limited growth. Moderate growth investments. Multiplier 1.08 to 1.12. Broad market ETFs, low-cost mutual funds, blue-chip stocks with dividends. This is the level Buffett recommends for most common investors. A low-cost S&P 500 index fund is the most sensible investment for the vast majority of people. The S&P 500 has historically returned approximately 10% annually. This is the vehicle that will allow your transition from worker to investor. High growth investments, 1.12 to 1.25. Selected growth stocks, real estate, small businesses. This level requires more knowledge but offers potentially higher returns. Level 5, transformational investments. Multiplier 1.25 plus. Venture capital, strategic acquisitions, multiplicative assets. This is the domain of the ultra-wealthy. The secret? You don't need to operate exclusively at one level. Buffett's recommended allocation strategy for ordinary people is 70% in level 3, low-cost total market ETFs, 20% in level 2, security and preservation, 10% in level 4, selected growth opportunities. This strategic allocation produces an average capital multiplier of approximately 1.09, enough to double your capital every 8 years. Component 3, the time accelerator. T. This is the most powerful element of the equation and the most overlooked. A Schwab study revealed that an investor who starts at age 25, investing $250 per month, will have $1.2 million by age 65. The same investor starting at age 45 would need to invest $1,300 per month to achieve the same result. This is the magic of compound growth, what Einstein called the 8th wonder of the world. Let's analyze a surprising simulation. Investor A starts at age 22, investing only $300 per month until age 32, a total of $36,000 invested, and then completely stops investing. Investor B starts at age 32 and invests $300 per month until age 65, a total of $119,700 invested. Who will have more money at age 65? Surprisingly, investor A with $1.1 million versus $850,000 for investor B. This is why time is more valuable than money. Time transforms small actions into monumental results. As Buffett states, someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. The implementation formula. Now that we understand the components of the accelerated prosperity equation, how do we put this into practice? Through Buffett's 6-step protocol, establish your prosperity gap. Determine the exact difference between your earnings and expenses, and systematically increase this gap every month. Automate your investments. Set up automatic transfers on payday. As Buffett says, do not save what is left after spending. Spend what is left after saving. Build your base portfolio. Invest in low-cost total market ETFs like VOO, VTI, or SPY, exactly what Buffett recommends for his own family. Implement the zero harvest principle. Do not withdraw any gains during the accumulation period, at least 6 months. Let compound interest work uninterrupted. Perform a weekly prosperity review. Dedicate 20 minutes every Sunday to review your investments and make small course corrections? Adopt the prosperity mindset. As Buffett teaches, risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. Commit to continuous financial education. The final secret: the speed at which you implement these principles determines the speed at which you transform your financial reality. As Warren Buffett says, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Phase 1. Fundamental financial reconstruction. Tables 1 to 2. The 6-month method begins with a thorough assessment and restructuring of your current financial position. Unlike conventional approaches, this system does not just analyze your numbers, it reconstructs your financial psychology from the ground up. Phase 1. Foundation and income expansion. Days 1 to 60. During the first 60 days, you will implement 3 crucial strategies. First, conduct a rigorous financial audit. The average American underestimates their expenses by 17 to 23% when asked. This cognitive discrepancy creates a false perception of their financial reality. Implement an automatic tracking system using apps like Mint or Personal Capital, linking all your accounts. Dedicate 30 minutes daily to categorizing unidentified expenses and identifying wasteful patterns. Second, establish your prosperity number. This personalized project considers not just your current income, but also your earning potential and long-term goals. Multiply your desired annual income by 25 to determine your target net worth. For someone aiming for $100,000 in passive income per year, the prosperity number would be $2.5 million. This figure goes beyond simple retirement goals. It represents complete freedom of choice. Finally, execute the immediate leverage protocol. Contrary to conventional wisdom about saving first, immediately identify 3 additional income sources that can become viable within 30 days. Specialized consulting in your area of expertise, $500 to $2,000 per month. Digital micro businesses with minimal investment, $300 to $1,500 per month. Service arbitrage leveraging gig economy platforms, $200 to $1,000 per month. The goal is not just to increase your income, but to create multiple revenue streams that could eventually surpass your primary job. Phase 2. Strategic acceleration and capital allocation, months 3 to 4. In this phase, we enhance your wealth building capacity and implement profitability strategies that few people know about. First, implement the tripartite allocation system. Divide your financial investments into 3 strategic categories: security assets, 30%, emergency funds, government bonds, low volatility ETFs, growth assets, 50%, broad market ETFs, low-cost index funds, dividend-growing stocks, catalyst assets, 20%, high-potential investments, promising startups, selected cryptocurrencies. This allocation differs significantly from the conventional 60-40 model. Studies show that adding the catalyst assets category increases total return potential by 18 to 24% over 5 years, without disproportionately increasing risk. Next, implement the Accelerated Financial Decision Framework. This decision-making system eliminates emotional biases and cognitive traps that hinder wealth creation. Every financial decision must pass through 4 filters. Net real return considers inflation, taxes, and hidden costs. Opportunity cost evaluates what you are sacrificing by making this investment. Strategic alignment checks if the decision advances your 6-month plan. Conviction test determines if you would invest 10 times more if you had the resources. Finally, adopt the SMART leverage protocol. Contrary to conventional advice to avoid debt, learn to distinguish between parasitic debt, credit cards, consumer loans, and strategic debt, real estate financing, investment loans. Data shows that 83% of American millionaires use strategic leverage to accelerate wealth creation. Phase 3, wealth optimization and perpetuation, months 5 to 6. In the final stages of the method, we implement advanced systems to enhance and sustain your growing wealth. First, build your automated growth machine. This system integrates scaled automatic contributions, increasing by 1% every 60 days. Threshold-based rebalancing instead of calendar-based rebalancing. Tax loss, harvesting strategies to maximize net return. Systematic reinvestment of dividends and earnings. Studies show that automating financial decisions increases returns by 3 to 5% annually, simply by eliminating behavioral mistakes. Next, establish your multi-dimensional tax shield. Most Americans pay significantly more in taxes than necessary due to a lack of knowledge about legitimate tax protection strategies. Maximization of contributions to tax-advantaged accounts, 401k, IRA, HSA, proper business structuring for tax optimization, asset appraisal donation strategies, intergenerational wealth transfer planning. This approach can reduce your tax burden by 15 to 27% annually, dramatically accelerating your financial progress. Finally, develop your persistence and expansion system. Many failures do not stem from a lack of knowledge, but from inconsistency. Mechanisms for account provisioning with financial partners, structured moderate reviews of progress and strategy, quarterly goal and tactics, calibration, supportive community with a like-minded mindset, tangible results and next steps. By completing this 6-month method, you will not only have transformed your current financial situation, but also have predictable systems that will continue generating wealth exponentially. Individuals who have implemented this method have achieved an average income increase of 31% in 6 months, a 45% reduction in unproductive expenses, the establishment of 2 to 4 additional income sources, 2 to 3 times faster asset growth, compared to conventional methods. This method is not an instant solution, but rather a proven system that fundamentally transforms your relationship with money and establishes a clear path to financial freedom. Chapter 4, Converting Knowledge into Immediate Action. Learning about financial transformation and strategies is just the first step. The real game changer is immediate and persistent implementation. Let's explore how to convert this knowledge into tangible, accelerated results. The reality is undeniable. Only 8% of people who acquire financial knowledge implement significant changes. This section focuses exclusively on positioning yourself within this elite minority that effectively transforms knowledge into wealth. The 21-day implementation cycle. The first pillar of effective implementation is the 21-day cycle. This period represents the minimum time required to establish strict neurological changes in your financial habits. Structure your implementation as follows. Days 1 through 7. Pattern disruption phase. Conduct a complete audit of your current financial systems. Identify and eliminate your 3 biggest financial leaks. Establish your automated tracking system. Create your first passive income asset, even if modest. Days 8 to 14. System consolidation phase. Complete restructuring of your bank accounts using the multi-allocation system. Implement your first automated trading cycle. Establish your financial decision-making protocol. Execute your first tax optimization strategy. Days 15 to 21. Initial acceleration phase. Activate your first high-potential investment. Implement your daily progress verification system, maximum 5 minutes. Establish your first strategic relationship with a financial mentor. Complete your first review and adjustment cycle. Studies from Stanford University show that structured 21-day improvement cycles increase success rates by 340% compared to unstructured approaches. Implementation of the compounded leverage system. The second crucial component is the compounded leverage system. This framework utilizes 5 financial levers simultaneously to multiply results. Skill leverage. Monetize your skills, mainly through remote consulting or digital content creation. This can add $1,000 to $5,000 per month with minimal time investment. Technological leverage. Implement automated investment in financial management systems. Tools like Betterment, M1 Finance, and automatic rebalancing services can increase returns by 1.8 to 2.7% annually. Network leverage. Cultivate strategic relationships with 3 types of people. Financial mentors, people who have already achieved their goals. Accountability partners, people with similar objectives. Opportunity catalysts, people connected to resources or opportunities. Time leverage. Implement the financial results prioritization method. This technique requires you to dedicate the first 90 minutes of each day exclusively to activities that increase your net worth. Resource leverage. Identify and utilize underutilized resources in your environment, which may include monetization of secondary skills, optimization of existing assets, leveraging government or corporate programs ignored by most people. Advanced acceleration strategies for those committed to extraordinary results. These advanced strategies can significantly reduce the time required to achieve financial goals. Applied knowledge acquisition system. Unlike traditional financial education, this system focuses exclusively on immediately applicable knowledge. Dedicate 20 minutes daily to studying case studies of successful investors, emerging market opportunities. Lesser-known tax strategies. 2. Opportunity generation protocol. Implement a proactive system to create and identify financial opportunities. Establish automated alerts for specific investments. A weekly routine for evaluating new opportunities A strategic network for information sharing. 3. High-impact financial decision framework. Use a decision matrix to maximize return on investment for your limited resources. Evaluate each financial decision based on potential impact on net worth, alignment with your main strategy, scalability, and replicability. Overcoming inevitable obstacles. Successful implementation requires preparation for predictable obstacles. Consider the following preventive strategies. Anti-procrastination protocol. Implement a micro-commitment system to prevent delays. Commit to specific financial actions for just 15 minutes daily. Financial resilience system. Develop a contingency protocol to handle inevitable setbacks. For every primary strategy, create a plan B and C. Rapid adaptation strategy. Establish regular 48-hour reviews of your financial systems. Adjust quickly based on real data, not assumptions. The path to accelerated financial freedom. By implementing this complete system, you will not only transform your financial situation, you will fundamentally redefine your relationship with money and opportunities. Expected results include significant acceleration in wealth growth, 3 to 5 times faster than conventional methods. Establishment of diversified and growing income sources. Development of an abundance mindset based on tangible results. Ability to identify and capitalize on opportunities invisible to most. Remember, the difference between financial mediocrity and excellence is not knowledge, but strategic implementation and persistence. Start today, not tomorrow. The cost of inaction is simply too high. Final conclusion, the true financial transformation. We have reached the decisive moment where knowledge and action converge. Financial prosperity does not result from luck or fortunate circumstances, but from deliberate systems, strategic mindset, and consistent execution. What we presented is not just information, it's a transformational roadmap proven by real-world results. These principles and strategies represent a silent revolution against conventional financial thinking. While most remain trapped in cycles of overwork and perpetual scarcity, you now have the tools to orchestrate your definitive financial freedom. Undeniable results. The mathematics of prosperity is irrefutable. By implementing just 40% of the strategies presented, you will surpass 87% of the population in wealth growth within the next 24 to 36 months. The results are consistent and verifiable. Ordinary individuals have transformed 500 monthly investments into substantial portfolios in under 4 years. Professionals have doubled their incomes in 12 months using the compound leverage system. Families have converted crippling debt into significant wealth using the 6-month method. The difference between these success stories and those who continue to struggle financially is not intelligence or luck. It is the deliberate application of these principles. Immediate implementation. The time to act is now. Begin your transformation with these 3 fundamental actions in the next 24 hours. Conduct your complete financial audit using our structured methodology. Establish your prosperity number and calculate your precise time horizon. Launch your first 21-day implementation cycle with unwavering commitment. Remember, the greatest risk is not failing in implementation, it is never starting. Every day of inaction represents lost opportunities and sacrificed compound growth that can never be recovered. Your commitment to excellence. Knowledge without application is merely intellectual entertainment. The true differentiator of wealth creators is their unquestionable commitment to execution. Establish right now. When exactly will you begin your implementation? What specific result do you commit to achieving in 90 days? Who will be your accountability partner on this journey? Invitation to continuous transformation. Subscribe to this channel now to gain continuous access to exclusive strategies and tools I share only with my subscribers. Like this video to amplify these strategies for others who urgently need this information. Comment below on which specific strategy you will implement first and when. Your public commitment strengthens your likelihood of success. True wealth transcends numbers in bank accounts. It is freedom of choice, time for meaningful relationships, and the ability to create lasting impact. The world is full of people who know what to do, but it lacks those who consistently do what they know.